Hi, so we're gonna do part two of the postpartum series that I'm doing. So the second part, I want to be trying to get her comfy, my comfy. um, I want to talk about more about the symptoms that I went over in the first video, specifically the symptoms that I went through, and um, she'll go over my nap, so we'll see how good she does. Um, yeah, I wanted to go over those symptoms and what they were like for me and the ones that I struggle with the most. That way it's a little bit more relatable. I know that every mom and every person that goes through postpartum depression has different symptoms. They experience it differently. Like one mom isn't going to have the same story as me. You're so cute. Look at you. um, and I just want to be able to give like real world experience. So like if you're looking for someone that's also struggling, but you don't know if what you're experiencing is just baby blues or if what you're experiencing is actually postpartum depression, then I'm hoping these videos will help, especially with the more in-depth version of the symptoms that I'm gonna start today. I also want to make sure that if any of this is going to be a trigger for you, stop the video. It's okay not to finish. If you have any questions but don't want to go into like the grueling details, please feel free to message me personally. You can message me over the group chat or you can leave a comment. I am so willing to answer questions, whether in depth or just super vague. Whatever you need is fine. That's the reason I'm doing this blog is I wish I would have found something like this when I was going through it to help me out. So this is just to help you moms. And yeah. So um sorry, I wanted to warm up her bottle and set her down with a toy so she doesn't get upset. You're just gonna see her little feet every once in a while. That's funny. Okay, sorry. Back on track. Um, this kid of mine, I don't know what to do with you. So, there. Okay. So, the symptom I'm gonna go over today is going to be anxiety. It's probably one of the worst that I went through. Um, Anxiety. I've always suffered from a little bit of anxiety, but it was never anything that I needed to be diagnosed or medication for until I had her. Um, and I know anxiety, like for different people, even if you don't have postpartum depression, you can get anxiety and you can experience it through different symptoms. Like you can be anger, or you can be tired, or you can have like excessive pulsive like disorders kind of thing. Um, there's a bunch of other things that come with anxiety, but like again, everyone experiences it differently. So this isn't going to be a one fix all. She wants to talk. Just trying to keep you out of the video because you're so cute. Anyway, so with me, like I said, I already suffered from anxiety and I have ADHD. So like because of my ADHD and with my anxiety and those two combined, I already kind of like obsessed over certain things. Like when I go into a new environment, I kind of like freak out. I so like when I went off to college for the first time, I like excessively packed. Like I was like freaking out. I found lists upon lists of what you should bring, of what you should expect, and it was crazy. Um, I even excess when I'm going to go see a friend for the weekend. Like I'll have my bag packed with like weeks in advance. I'll have snacks and drinks and stuff prepared even in my car ready to go. Um, I'll have my clothes and even my shoes, socks, underwear, stuff like that. All of it would just be like where I need it to be ready to go. Like I'll have the complete outfit set up and ready to go like a day or two before I even leave for the trip. And I'll make sure it's set aside so I don't wear anything that I'm taking with me. That way I know it's gonna be clean and I'm gonna be like I don't want to be smelling gross. Okay. It's like little things I kind of obsess over because of like my anxiety and stuff. Um, but it was never anything that I could control on my own. And I was never, like I said, I was never diagnosed or needed medication for it. But when I had her, it's like my anxiety went from like being, kind of like down here, it like shot through the roof. Like it was crazy. Like I would obsessively obsess, like obsessively obsess over everything that had to do with her. Um, to the point where it was like I was trying to find schedules. Sorry, she was burping and I was afraid she was gonna throw up. Anyway, I was obsessing over like what her sleep schedule should look like from each stage of life. So like newborn to like first month, second month, third month. Like I needed to know exactly what it should look like. I needed to know exactly how long she should be up. Because I don't have any siblings, I'm an only child, so I didn't have any experience with like younger siblings type of thing. And I wasn't really interested in like working in the nursery and at my church when I was a teenager. I like the toddler age. I think it's my favorite. At least when they're not my own kids. Like I don't know how she'll be. I mean it'll be interesting. But baby scared me. Because they're like not even half my size. They're like and you know, I'm not a tall person, but compared to a baby, I'm like a giant. So, I was always afraid that like because I didn't know what to do, I was gonna hurt them. So I didn't really want to. It's not that I didn't want to be around them. It's just that I didn't want to be in charge of them. Um, so because of that, I didn't have any experience. Like I knew how to change a diaper, and I understood like how you should hold and burp a baby, but I didn't understand like when people are burping a baby, I didn't realize you kind of have to hit kind of hard. Like I'm not slamming on her, but like you have to hit harder than what you think you need to, and it was just like stuff like that that I didn't know or understand, and because of that, I didn't think I was equipped enough to be a mom. So I bought books upon books, and I went over and obsessed over lists and blogs and podcasts and websites, and I would like literally research everything, and it was crazy. So, um, so I obsessed over everything. And the thing about it is that like I wasn't getting any sleep because my doctor told me because she was so small and because she lost so much weight in her first month, she needed to be fed every 2 hours, like on the dot. So I had an alarm set for every 2 hours to get her up and feed her. And at the time, I was exclusively breastfeeding and I was only doing formula when I needed to. So like when are you gonna play with this? No, you're like no. Look at myself. Okay. Anyway, I was only feeding her when, or I was feeding her every 2 hours, and then at night when I would go her kind of let her go to like 2.5, 3, depending on how she was doing and how I felt, instead of sleeping because I couldn't shut my brain off and it wouldn't just shut up. I obsessed over, especially her sleep schedules, because I wanted to make sure she was getting enough sleep and she should be on a right schedule. So I would obsess over stuff like that, and I would do all of the major research um, at night because I gave myself a little bit more time. She was normally at that time she was either sleeping next to me in bed in like a little baby lounger that had like cushions and stuff around it because she was like newborn to like 2 or 3 months at the time, and I could not for the life of me get her to sleep anywhere except on me or in that lounger because I don't even know why. Like I had a little bassinet that she sleeps in right now. But she felt I was like she was normally sleeping on me, which is part of the reason why I wasn't getting any sleep because I can't sleep upright very well, and I would just wake up with like a sore neck. Or every time that she moved or shifted, I would wake up and I'd be like holding her because I was afraid she was gonna fall off, even though I was surrounded by pillows in the middle of my bed. I was terrified that she was gonna fall onto the floor. So I didn't sleep very well, and you could tell. Everyone was like, "Oh, you look great," and I was like, "Well, thank you. I'm doing my best, you know." But then I was like, unbeknownst to anyone else, I was struggling so much because I wasn't getting any sleep and I was exhausted all the freaking time. And because of that, and because of my constant worrying and my constant anxiety over, wow, um, my constant anxiety over literally every stage that she could go through, I um I became really angry, and I will go over that a little bit more in a different video. But um, one of the anxiety symptoms I had was being angry and super anxious about everything and not being able to sleep very well and just obsessively worrying over every little aspect of her life, being like, am I being a good mom? Is this right? Is this what I should be doing? Well, what if I should be doing that instead? Like, well, what if she should be doing this? What if she should be doing that? Like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Like, I was obsessing over everything. And I feel like I keep repeating a lot of what I'm saying, but like, it was like I was freaking out over things that I really couldn't control, and I didn't like that. Because again, I'm a planner, and I like, I wish, if, I wish she would have come with a manual. I always say that her manual got lost in birth because I feel like some days I'm doing the right thing and other days it's like she's like, "No, that's not right, mom. That's not right. I don't want to do that. No, mom." And it was like before I had started my medication, it was like those days I I just couldn't handle it. I was like a volcano that was building and building and building and building, and I knew sooner or later that volcano was going to erupt, and I would either harm myself, or I would harm her, or I would do both. Like, for the first couple months, I would always say that, like, oh, I'm so frustrated, I'm gonna fling us both out my third story window. And a part of me was like, oh, you're just kidding. But then there was almost a slightly bigger side of me that was like, no, you're not. Like, when you hit that exploding point, if you're anywhere near something that could hurt you or her, I might actually do it. And it was at that point that I started to really confide in a close friend of mine who I met in college at Elam. She she's super great with kids, almost to the point where I'm still a little jealous at, like, I'll go to her and I'll be like, what do I do? This is what's happening. She's like, well, I suggest doing this. This is what we do at my daycare. This is what we did in the nursery or whatever. You know, from whatever life experience she would have. And I was talking to her over text message, or I can't remember if it was a phone call. Anyway, she was like, I don't know what you're going, I don't know what's going on in your head, but you should go to your doctor, like your OB, and you should let them know how you feel. Like, don't hold back, let it go. They understand, they've heard it all. Let them know how you feel so they can help you. And at that time, I had to get a new OB because mine had gotten a different job in a different state and was moving. So I had to get a new midwife. And the one I was with, she was a little older, super, super nice. And I love her. And she was like, so how you doing? Like, what's going on? And I was just brutally honest with how I was feeling and what I was going through and like and everything. And she's like, it sounds like you're going through postpartum depression. It's not something every mom goes through, but a handful of moms go through and a handful of them don't. So it's okay. And this is what we're going to do to help me. And they put me on a medication and it's been helping and it's been great. and I feel a lot more like myself lately. Um, I'm still a little afraid that um, I'm gonna get kind of addicted to the pill, but I guess we'll see. She said I can stop at any time when I feel like I don't need it anymore. I'd like to try and see if I can go without it when she turns 1. Because she'll be a little older, she'll be just a little bit more independent. She's not like a toddler, so like she's still considered a baby at that stage, but yeah. So my life as a mom hasn't been easy, and I really, again, just want this blog to show that side of being a mom. That, like, if you're struggling, and don't freaking cry, if you're struggling and you're going through things like this, you're not alone. It's totally normal what you're feeling. Um, it's just this side of mom isn't shown, and I personally think it's because of the society we live in nowadays. Like, you can't even, like, spank your kids in public with fear of someone calling, like, the cops on you for abuse. Like, it's crazy. And I honestly think that's why a lot of moms don't talk about these things they're feeling and going through, because they're afraid someone is going to get the wrong impression and call the cops. Like, have I had thoughts of harming myself and both me and my baby? Yes. Have I ever done it? No. Have I gone to someone when it became too much? Absolutely. Because I know, even though I didn't bond with my child right away, I knew that I would never want to hurt her, because I knew hurting her would destroy me more than the relief of that 1 second that I would get from not having her around me, if that makes sense. So I know that when I get to a certain point, I have to I have to call, like, my mom or a friend of mine or some family, and I'll be like, "Hey, can you come over? Hey, can you help talk me down? Hey, can you help me?" And if it gets too bad, yes, I will. My husband works third shift, if you don't know. So he sleeps normally during the day, and that's fine. This is how our schedule is. It's what our life is right now. But I also know, and he knows, that if I get to a point where I can't take it anymore and I have to wake him up and just give her to him and just walk away and give myself 5 minutes, that's okay. And he has told me multiple times, don't let yourself get to that point, because we both know that if I hurt her because I couldn't handle it or I was feeling too overwhelmed, not only would I be disappointed in myself, I would feel awful. So, again, it's just my life right now. Like, this is just me being real for the moms that are struggling to find, being like, why am I going through this? Why do I feel this way? Why am I such a bad mom for going through these? You're not a bad mom for going through these things, because it is normal, especially if you're a first time mom and you're like me and you didn't have any experience and you don't understand what you're doing and you don't know if you're doing it right. Like, you're not a bad mom for feeling these things, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. That's why you need a support system. And if you need more than that, go to your midwife, go to your OB. Be so brutally honest with how you're feeling and what you're going through, so they can accurately help you. They can prescribe prescription if you want to do that. They can prescribe counseling, which most insurances will pay for, especially if it's prescribed. Um, my OB, because I didn't want to do medication at first, so my OB suggested get fresh air while you can, like while the weather's nice. And it helped for a little bit, but it wasn't the relief that I actually needed. So that's why I started on medication. With the weather getting nicer, thank God, I'm going to start going for walks more. I don't mind going for walks for her because she falls asleep, especially if I feed her, get her changed, we do a little bit of an activity, and then she's kind of ready for a nap. We'll go for a walk. Like, that's just, and then she sleeps, because I take like 30-minute walks. I try to at least get like 30 to 45-minute walks. I just kind of walk around our town. There's like a little track by the school in town that sometimes I'll walk around. But that way, it gives me the time that I need to have fresh air. I normally listen to a podcast or I'll listen to music. And then while that's going on, she's kind of lulled to sleep by by the movement, and I know that she's safe, and I am not like, and she's not like fussing and crying, which is another thing that like shoots my anxiety through the roof. It just, I don't know, it's just like something starts boiling in me the more that she cries, and it's just like rah. But yeah, that's just what I'm going through, and it's just how I'm living life, and it gets better. And some days are better than others. Like last night, she didn't sleep more than 30 minutes at a time. I don't know why. She didn't want to be held. She didn't want anything to eat or drink, and she didn't need a diaper change. She just was up because of for whatever reason. I was exhausted this morning, and I put her down for a nap. I fell asleep. We fell asleep for an hour and a half, maybe an hour 45, and I'm good. I might not have gotten the sleep I needed, but I'm okay. We're okay. We're fine. And she just took a 30-minute nap. So we're okay. And this is just our life. So welcome to Be Real Mom. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm being real. I'm being a mom. That's all I can do. Thanks for listening. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. If you have my number, you can use that. We can even talk on the phone if you have my number. If you want to Facebook message me, I'm available. If you want to do it on the group chat, or like on the group, the Be Real Mom group chat, that's fine. I am ready. I'm so willing to be open and ready to answer any and all questions that y'all might have. So shoot them my way. Let me know your experiences. Let me know if this is helping, if it's not helping. Whatever you have to say, as long as it's done in a positive and proactive way, shoot it my way. I'm ready. Thanks.